into the heat of battle.
It's been a whole 7 years since the launch of Vanilla Street Fighter V, and while the 5th entry in the series had a hell of a rocky start, by the end it became a very good game, one that I pumped hundreds of hours into. Now Street Fighter VI is here, and this time around, it comes out swinging with a body of content that's fully packed, and gameplay as solid as iron.
Ha! Look at this body of iron!
Street Fighter VI's art direction is a feast for both your eyes and ears. I love the hip-hop style reminiscent of Third Strike. It's such a perfect match for Street Fighter. Just like how techno works for Mortal Kombat. A shame MK has never embraced that outside of the movie. The music here is a bit of a mixed bag, and I think the soundtrack will take some time to grow on some people. For me, I find a few character themes like Guile's miss the mark, while others like Zangief's absolutely nail it. Either way, they're going for something different. Outside of character themes, the stage themes, menu music, and tunes found throughout the game's many modes is some grade A quality work.
I'll show you the power of my kung fu.
I've been struggling for years.
As for the visuals, the footage speaks for itself. I'm a big fan of the RE engine, and the environments look awesome. But more importantly, the character models have never looked better. I was never big on the way Street Fighter V looked, with its chunky clay-like monstrosities and banana hair, nor did I really take to Street Fighter IV's art direction for that matter. Street Fighter VI is how I always wanted post-2D Street Fighter to look.
Welcome!
Now speaking of the game's many modes, saying there's no shortage of content here would be an understatement. Of course, there's online with the all-new, completely optional Battle Hub, where you can walk around and challenge other players or partake in some ranked matches, while playing some old-school arcade games as you're waiting for the next match. I'm happy to say the online runs so damn smooth via the glorious rollback netcode. Even low-bar connections across the ocean were buttery smooth for the most part. But say you want to play by yourself and get the feel for the roster, or take in some of that sweet, sweet lore. Well, worry not, Street Fighter VI has you covered. First, there's the classic arcade mode taking you through 5 to 12 stages, including 2 bonus stages. One where you take on a big-ass semi-truck, and another where you parry basketballs. And of course, you got little cutscenes and endings for each character. There's also some additional voiceover work during the final fight, which is a cool detail.
Let's see if Little Miss Retiree still got it! I have more than...
Next, we have the talk of the town. Not just the town, but the world. It's the World Tour mode, where you get to recreate yourself or some diabolical creation to venture around and interact with your favorite world warriors. If you're a lore hound like myself, then you're gonna want more than a bite out of World Tour. There is so much to see and do. Metro City is chocked full of references and Easter eggs. In RPG fashion, you'll run around completing quests, leveling up, unlocking moves and upgrades, and enjoying what is actually a pretty decent story by Street Fighter standards. You have 2 major cities to explore, as well as several other pit stops around the globe. It really brings me back to Mortal Kombat Deception's Conquest mode, and I'm glad they went this route over another attempt at an NRS-style cinematic story. Not only does this mode offer a healthy amount of single-player content, it's kind of a clever and neat way to ease in newcomers and show them the ropes. Oh, and for you Street Fighter 2 purists out there, befriend the World Warriors in this mode and you'll unlock their classic costumes, and they're looking crispy as hell.
Dig it!
It doesn't end with World Tour though. There's also essentially a party mode with extreme battles, which you'll find in both the battle hub as well as the main menu. You can set up a variety of stipulations, like the one where you have to be the first to knock your opponent down 5 times. You can also select a number of gimmicks, like how about tossing in some Mets from Mega Man. With these, the first fighter to attack them gets an assist that electrifies the opponent. Shockingly good stuff.
I did it!
So last but far from least, the all-important gameplay. I have to first talk about Street Fighter 6's training mode. I'm not afraid to say it's the best training mode a fighting game has ever had, loaded with so many useful and intuitive tools. The best part is outside of getting into the nitty-gritty, there's a number of baked-in training options that don't require fooling around with the CPU settings or recordings. Wanna practice anti-airs? No problem. Whiff punishes, you got it. Dealing with pressure, hey, it's got that too. These options are simply great, pun intended, and it makes the initial training process a less daunting task. You also have the awesome frame data meter, which you can enable to see the data unfold in front of your eyes. So even if you don't want to think about frame data all that much, especially in the beginning of your Street Fighter journey, you can at least plainly see what beats what with this neat visual indicator. One other thing is just how good Street Fighter 6's CPU is. It has to be the best CPU in a fighting game, because at the higher levels, not only does the computer play more human-like, but will often dish out optimal stuff. So you could possibly learn a lot just playing against the computer, which is uncanny. All this and more is why Street Fighter 6 is a groundbreaking game for the genre.
I'll take on all of you!
So let's go over what makes Street Fighter 6 Street Fighter 6. Now, I'm no high-level player, I'm average at best, so this is more of a rundown and generally just how I feel about the gameplay overall. With that said, it could be the most fun I've had with a Street Fighter game, and I don't say that lightly. As far as the modern versus classic controls go, I'm not gonna dive too deep into the differences. I will say, go with what's comfortable and take it from there. Modern gives you 4 buttons versus 6, so your character has less options, but it might be a good place to start if you're a total beginner. Speaking of characters, the roster is so varied, you're sure to find someone that suits your playstyle. And on that note, Street Fighter 6 is a very grappler-friendly game, which is right up my alley. There's no better feeling than command-grabbing fools for some big damage. It's a breath of fresh air because grapplers almost always get the short end of the stick. Now, every character has 3 critical arts, but what's new is the drive meter, which lets you perform drive impacts, drive parries, and drive rush, as well as all your character's EX moves, or overdrive moves as they're called here. What's more is you can cash out meter you don't even have, say to finish off a round. However, overusing your meter will put you in a burnout state, giving the opponent more advantage on block than they normally would have, and they can serve you up some unrecoverable chip damage. So be careful, but not too careful, because blocking too much will shave off a little meter as well. So the game definitely rewards playing offensively. So what about the 3 features I mentioned? Well, Drive Impact is an armored move that can withstand 2 hits, can counter your opponent's Drive Impact, and opens up combo opportunities, while stealing a little bit of their drive meter. Drive parry can prevent damage while also taking some of the meter back, basically beating everything but throws, and it's great for dealing with 50-50 situations like cross-ups. Lastly, Drive Rush, which lets you rush forward and can be canceled into from other moves, opening up a whole slew of possibilities. And that's what you gotta love about Street Fighter 6's gameplay. The trend of restricting what characters can do is seemingly at an end. The sky is the limit here, and it feels so damn good. All in all, Street Fighter 6 is a complete package, a trendsetter for the future of fighting games, and personally, might just be my favorite Street Fighter to date. Did I mention you can also have freak battles with your avatars in the hub? Hell, I didn't even mention that you could do team battles with up to 5 members on your team. What is not to love here? As far as I'm concerned, with the exception of me not having my favorite character Alex.
Okay, let's rumble.
At least not yet. Street Fighter 6 is perfect.
Perfect.